We are so close to this game. I mean, as of right now, we're speaking. I'm pretty sure that the team is flying over to Dublin. If I remember correctly, it said Wednesday night they're going to fly over and they're going to get ready to get going. And this is going to be such a good game. Iowa State, Kansas State to start off the college football season. We get a Big 12 matchup. Yes, it sucks that it's not in Manhattan, but it's good for the Big 12 brand. I'm really hoping Brett Yormark gets back in his ways and says, hey, we need to make sure this game is protected past 2027. I hope this one's a slobber knocker. I really do. I've been going around and saying this one's a coin flip. I think this one's going to be a really close game. For the most part, it's usually within one score when you look at some of the past Farmageddons, especially recently. Joe, what is your overall take of this game? Like, how is your vibes feeling? What are you feeling right now heading into Dublin? Of course, with all this stuff going on, Avery Johnson starting to get a little bit of hype, and you look at some of the national media starting to talk a little bit more about the second-year starter for Kansas State. But we know what he is, and we've seen what he has done, heading the 23-mile-an-hour club, all that stuff this year. What's your vibes heading into Dublin?
Well, you caught me at the right moment because I think this last month I've been kind of a roller coaster where I'm like, it's going to be a really close game. Hey, we're going to take care of this. It's going to be, going back and forth all over. I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm more confident than I have been in the past week or so. Not to say we're going to blow Iowa State out. I don't think that's the truth by any means. I think Iowa State's a good football team. They truly do not get blown out. Matt Campbell will any team, whether they're a winless team or they're an undefeated team, they will be competitive in most games. But I do think it's a massive test for them to replace those receivers. Now, game 5, game 6, I wouldn't want to play Iowa State. Game 1, I feel a little bit better where it's still up in the air to say, all right, hey, both teams, we're all trying to figure this out. Who can figure it out faster? I have a little bit more faith in Chris Klieman to get that job done out of the gates. But I do understand it's still going to be a tough game. You're still going to need to make plays. I have Kansas State winning by more than a score. I'll put that out there now. I do still think it'll be relatively low scoring. I don't know if it's the best way to say it. It probably still barely clips the over, but I'm not sure what it does off the top of my head. But I've got Kansas State winning this game 33, Iowa State 24.
Our friends at FanDuel have the over-under right now, I think at 49.5 or 50.
Ooh,
So we would just get the over
just
on
barely get
that
over.
prediction. Yeah, that'd be over, but that'd be a good one. I think it's going to be the over as well. I do think it's going to be around that score prediction. I'm saving my exact score till Friday, so I'm sorry to give that to you. But
That works.
spoiler alert, I think Kansas State's going to win the football game. But the score prediction I'm saving for Friday. Look, when you look at this offense, when you look at what we've heard from the coaches and press conferences and interviews this entire offseason, I know you're glued just like I am on those conversations. Coach Brian Anderson, the running back coach, has said this is the deepest running back room he's ever had. We talk about how Matt Wells is going to have the offense to himself and what he excels in the past. What we've seen with Jordan Love at Utah State, excels in the play action. Can Avery Johnson get the most out of that with his dual threatness? These wide receivers with the size that they're bringing in to Avery Johnson, can that help him succeed and be better off in his completion percentage, something that people outside of the Kansas State nation like to pick on, with Avery Johnson saying he's not the guy because of that one number for some odd reason. What is your take on this offense? Do you think it's the best weapons that Avery Johnson has had, if you obviously compare it to last year? And is it enough to get back to Arlington for the first time since 2022?
I 100% agree. I do think it's going to be enough. I think it's more than enough, to be honest, which is a good thing because there's uncertainty, there's injuries, everything happens. Some of that stuff happens every single year. The way I feel about it this way: Avery Johnson doesn't have to be a superhuman with the team and the pieces he has around him. Last season, I think Avery had to do a little bit too much at times to go win football games. And that's a pressure, that's a conscious thing you know on yourself. We're at the point in the offseason where I'll say this: I almost feel like Dylan Edwards has been so good. Now he's almost undervalued. Like, people are just at a certain point where, like, Dylan Edwards is going to have impact. He's going to show up. I don't know if we're giving him the actual, like, hey, this kid truly is a home run threat every single time he touches the football. Like, it doesn't matter if it's kickoff, if he's returning kicks, returning punts, if it's a draw up the gut, if it's a screen pass. 70 yards isn't that far for Dylan Edwards, about 50 yards for Dylan Edwards. But the thing I love to see about this offense is it feels like Matt Wells understands, like, you got to get Avery on the run for the best version of Avery Johnson. When he's mobile outside the pocket, give him the option to make the choice of, do I want to run this? Do I want to throw this? When you have guys that are going to get open downfield, when you have Avery Johnson making the decisions, I feel very, very good about where this team's at. And I do think it's enough to get back to Arlington and maybe even hit that college football playoff goal.
Does this game in Dublin, does it run through, like, does the Big 12 championship run through Dublin? If this game happens, if Iowa State finds a way to win this one, is the season over for Kansas State?
I don't think it is. I know some people will say that it is. I don't think it is. I'll leave it at that. I think there's an opportunity to get back, but you will see a lot of grit and determination. Might not be the first 2 weeks of the non-con after the game, but that first week of Big 12 season, like when you start to get to some of those dogs during the conference schedule, you'll see Kansas State's try to make that effort.
Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. And hopefully it's a
Sure.
Wildcat win in Dublin, Ireland this Saturday, 11 o'clock Central Time. If you're still watching at home, lots of stuff happening. So excited for this. Joe, I am so glad that you joined me on this conversation. We got to get you back on here soon. Hopefully when we're 1-0 on the season. Joe, where can everyone find you and your work, of course, at Joe Tillery?
Well, I'm over on YouTube at Joe Tillery. The other way around on Twitter, it's at Tillery_Joe. Working for Heartland College Sports. If you see me over there, come say hi, come check out some stories. But just trying to get through one day at a time. Now it feels a lot closer than it did a couple months ago, and I'm fired up about that.
I can't wait. And of course, we want some more Kansas State men's basketball talk too. Joe Tillery always has you covered on that side. This episode of Locked On Kansas State is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Postseason is already heating up. We're days away from Dublin starting the college football season, and football isn't far behind, of course. Whether you've got your eye on a big-name quarterback or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. If you are excited about something, the weekly flower for this weekend, Prize Picks is offering a max discount, and this max discount comes right into play with Kansas State. Max discount number one is Avery Johnson of over a half pass yard. So if you think Avery Johnson is going to complete a pass over a yard, you can check that out for an easy max discount. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege, and you can use Avery Johnson in this one as well to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. This episode's also brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th, a couple days after week 0, is officially FanDuel's Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who love bold predictions like myself and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you the deals for NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling for an MVP in August or you're eyeing a long shot division winner ready to crown your Super Bowl winner, or the Super Bowl champ, I should say, in week 1, well, get ready. You can do that. This is your moment. I'm going with an MVP race here. I think that we can get a crazy MVP winner here. How about like a rookie? What about a Big 12 guy? Could Travis Hunter go from Heisman Trophy to MVP? Like, could that happen? I don't know, but that sounds like a pretty bold thing, and you could check that out in FanDuel's Future Day. So visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Thanks so much for listening, folks. We'll be back here again. We got a heavy lineup all the way up until game day, and of course, all the way through that right here on Locked On Kansas State. So be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe. And this has been Locked On Kansas State.